Should you get a Swapfiets bike? One thing's for sure, this bike is very common in Amsterdam and it's easily recognizable with the light blue front wheel, but is it worth getting? I'm going to be running through the pros and cons, so let's jump straight into this. Cost. So for Amsterdam, there are two types of bike that you can potentially get. There is the original bike, which is a Dutch granny style bike with coaster brakes, and then there is the Deluxe 7, which has several gears, it has coaster brakes and also hand brakes. Now the original costs $16.90 per month, whilst the Deluxe costs $19.90 a month. Now there is also a one-off cost of €19.50 depending on like the length of contract that you choose, but putting that one-off cost aside, both of these bikes cost under €20 a month, which is pretty good going. Accessories. So at no extra cost, the bike will come with a rear light, a front light, double locks, so this is a wheel lock and a chain lock, and a bell. So you don't need to worry about getting extra accessories for your bike, and basically the bike is ready to be used. Delivery. So Swapfiets can deliver the bike to you if you need that. So all you need to do is arrange for a convenient time slot and they will bring the bike to you and set it all up, which is super convenient. Maintenance. So I have the Deluxe 7 bike and I didn't go for the original granny style bike because I didn't know how to use coaster brakes when I first arrived and they were a little bit terrifying. So I've had the Deluxe 7 for about 5 months now and it is very, very low maintenance. Apart from having to pump the tires up now and again, that's been it. I've had no problems with it. However, if something were to go wrong with the bike, and depending on what has gone wrong and where you are, you can either request that Swapfiets comes to you or you can go to one of their stores to get the bike fixed. Theft. And bike theft is a major problem here in Amsterdam and Swapfiets bikes are not insured. However, if you've locked up your bike properly, you have the key and your bike still gets stolen, then you can pay a small fee to Swapfiets. So for the original it's €40 and for the Deluxe it's €60 and Swapfiets will give you a new bike. Another thing worth mentioning is that this bike has a light blue front wheel and there's also Swapfiets branding on the bike. So these two things will also act as a bit of a deterrent because if someone steals that bike, they will have to change that front wheel and they'll have to cover up the Swapfiets branding, and that's work, that's extra work for them. Weight. So I've read that the Deluxe is about 16 kgs and personally for me, with my weeny little arms, I'm physically not strong enough to lift my bike on the top rack, and occasionally this is a problem if there is no space on the bottom rack. So I need to ask for help and clearly I need to keep working on these arm muscles. Ownership. So you'll never actually own a Swapfiets bike, it's purely a rental agreement, and I'm a little bit hesitant to put it in here as a con because it's not a surprise that this is a rental agreement. It's very, very clear, but cost-wise and depending on your situation, in the long run, it might make more sense for you to buy your own bike. Coverage. So you can ride your bike outside of Amsterdam, but bear in mind that if you have a problem with your bike, Swapfiets will only help you if you're within the boundaries of the city. So I know with my bike in particular, if I was riding outside of Amsterdam and I had a problem with the rear wheel, say I got a flat, it would not be easy for me to change that wheel myself, and I would have a problem, especially if I was in the middle of nowhere. In summary, I think Swapfiets is a great option for everyone, and from my personal experience when I first moved here, I didn't really know how to ride a bike properly, let alone what I wanted in a bike, where to buy one, what accessories I needed. I just didn't know, and so Swapfiets was definitely the best place for me to start. Now before you go, I am also on Instagram and I would love to connect with you on there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.